Hey, welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show, where we're on our journey to 250,000 subscribers. And guess what? We're almost there, thanks to you. So hit the subscribe button and share with a friend. Now, yesterday, Kamala Harris did a really brave thing, something that Von Schitzenpants, aka Donald J. Trump, certainly would not do. He refused to go on 60 Minutes. He only does interviews with Newsmax, OAN, or Fox News. She went on Fox News, and she was being interviewed by Brett Baier, who I actually know, and I thought that he was going to be respectful. All right? But of course, he wasn't. He's playing into a party of one. And again, that's Donald J. Trump. And we really need to watch these clips, and we really need to discuss them. All right? So first, let's watch this clip where Brett asks Kamala about Trump being as bad as she says that he is. Play that clip.
If he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States, why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask.
Whoa. I mean, there's so much that's wrong here. First and foremost, let me be very clear. All right? Brett Baier is an asshole. Plain and simple. What he was looking to do in the early parts, first of all, by over-talking her. You have somebody on your show. You treat them with respect. I don't care if they oppose your view. I get it. What he was doing, he was trying to be the savior of Donald Trump. He was trying to get out of Kamala Harris an answer. Yeah, I think they're stupid. I do. I think anybody that votes for Donald Trump, and I'm going to say it right here and right now, anyone that votes for Donald Trump in 2024, yes, is stupid and doesn't care about democracy. But she can't say that. She's running for the presidency of the United States. He was trying to get her to say something that could be compared to, let's say, when Hillary Clinton called, Republicans deplorable. All right, deplorables. That's what he was trying to get. And he saw he wasn't getting. But then she beat the living piss out of him. No, we both know. See what she did there? You see what she did? What she did is she included him in her opinion. We all know that that's not what Trump said. How about the fact that they're taking a clip from right now where he was on with Faulkner, all right, on also a Fox News program? Because again, that's the only place he's going to go. It's where he feels comfortable that he can lie to the American people and get away with it. This is improper, and she called Brett Baier out on it. Shame on him. He looked weak. He looked stupid. He looked contrite, and he just looked super pathetic. And you know what? So did Fox News. They did a horrible job in terms of being, at least, I don't even want to call them fair, right? They certainly weren't, but they were horrible in this debate. But good for Kamala for standing up. That shows you strength. You think Trump has the ability to do that? As soon as, look, he jailed me, weaponized the Department of Justice. And that's not Michael Cohen saying it. That's Judge Alvin K. Hellerstein saying it. And you know what? Tomorrow on Friday, my case, the Michael Cohen versus the United States of America, goes before the Supreme Court in order to see whether they will take my writ of certiorari. So fingers crossed for that. Though I hate to say it, I don't have a lot of hope. Next, the interview got heated. And why? Because he wouldn't let her speak. They just kept speaking over each other. You know, when his job is not to debate her, he is not running for shit. All right. He is an interviewer, a host on a TV show on Fox. You ask your question to your interviewee, all right, and you let them answer your question. And if you don't agree with something, then you ask what's called a follow-up question. All right. She was so perfect, like a real prosecutor. Play this clip.
Hacked, where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches, not to mention how Donald Trump has treated and talked about America's military and military service people, calling them suckers and losers,
Hamas,
has diminished the significance.
We're talking over each other. I apologize.
Well, I would like that we would have a conversation that is grounded in full assessment of the facts, which includes, I think this interview is supposed to be about the choices that your viewers should be presented about this election, and the contrast is important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, where he turns around and he says, we're talking to each other, I apologize. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's full of shit. He's trying to be, or to show that he's being fair and respectful to his audience, but he was not. And he knew that he wasn't. He's not there to debate her. Okay? You wait for her to finish, and then you ask a follow-up question. That's his job, not to be the debater. This is not the forum for that, nor is he running for the position for that. Then she just had enough. And who didn't? I was watching this thing. I wanted to jump through the screen and slap the guy. So she puts her foot down and she says, enough, Brett. Let me finish speaking. Play this clip.
Before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the...
Yes, ma'am. May I finish responding, please? But you have to let me finish,
You had the White House and the House and the Senate, and they didn't bring up that bill.
I'm in the middle of responding to the point you're raising, and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
He cannot let her finish, because she's driving home her point to his viewers. So he has to then weave out of it and start with other things. Nobody needed him to tell her the name of the act or the bill that they passed. She knows it better than he does. I mean, then, of course, he goes right back into it and he brings up the border bill. All right. But it's the border bill that Trump shot down. He's the one that, through MAGA Mike Johnson, contacted and said, I don't want that bill going to the floor because it'll be a win for Joe Biden and the Democrats. Remember that with Senator Langworth, who turned around, who is a staunch Republican, a conservative, right? And refused to allow that bill to hit the floor. Play that clip.
Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday, campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There is no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was.
Yeah, again, he's going to continue. He will never let her get her point across. Because then Brett asks her about her concerns about both Trump and Biden. Play that clip.
No concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
after George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out, even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room, and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again, including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate. So that is a fact. That is a fact.
Madam.
Yeah, again, Brett Baier had worked with a whole slew of people to try to craft questions that he thought that they would get more sound bites in October surprise, but he failed. And then she turns around and she goes, I'm not Joe Biden. I'm not Joe Biden, because he keeps going on to it, right? Why are you attacking Joe Biden? He's not in the race anymore. He stepped out and she's in. Play that clip.
You're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership.
Yeah. And finally, right answer. Right answer. Everybody comes in with different perspective. They want her to demean Joe Biden. Could you imagine that? Why would she do that? They have a great relationship. Finally, and lastly, Brett asks her if she felt that she got to say everything about Trump that she wanted to in the interview. I don't understand how she could have said anything, considering he continuously interrupted her. Play that clip.
And think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have much more to say.
There are a lot of things that people want to learn about you.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't giving her a chance. Any time that she was on a roll, any time that she was getting the message out, what did he do? He just cut her off. Horrible, horrible interviewer. Excellent job by Kamala Harris. And it's why I'm going to end this episode as I do all. Make sure you go to vote.org. Make sure we vote up and down ballot, Harris Walz 2024. And just make sure that you subscribe to this and share with a friend. We have less than 3 weeks to bring this home. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.